Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we're going to clean up a piece of Tulip live edge wood. As my company keeps expanding in the live edge department, something that we've sort of come into is that a lot of wood slabs look really nice right off the bat, but sometimes our suppliers also give us some wood slabs that need a little bit of work. This is a piece of Tulip that's a great example of that. The whole front surface of it basically looked like this here. And if you look just at this here, it doesn't look like anything impressive whatsoever. But after CNC routering it, you can see the real beauty of the wood. Now that's something that I've found out as I got more into this end of the business, because you need a bit of imagination to realize that, you know, even if something looks a little bit rough like this here, it comes out really nice after it's been CNC routered. And actually when we do laser engraving on there as well, the contrast is really wonderful, especially on like Tulip or poplar. This piece of Tulip here was actually left in a barn for a while, and although it's really nice and dry and really nice material to work with, it was starting to sort of mildew out. But the nice thing about mildew is that it's always just on the very top surface of it if you catch it soon enough. And that's what's nice about the CNC routering. Not only are we cleaning up all the stuff and the gunk on the surface layer of the material, but in this case here it was also pretty warped. Over years, just wood tends to warp on its own. So while we were flattening this, we're also cleaning up the surface. So we're actually doing two processes at the same time. Just to give you an idea of the size of this piece of tulip, it's 10.5 feet long and it's about 21 inches wide. And that's a really nice big chunk of wood to throw on the CNC router. And what's really nice is we can handle up to 1,500 pounds on our CNC router, so the weight wasn't much of an issue. It's more me, the human forklift, having to sort of leverage it onto the machine bed. What's really nice about flattening and doing all the work that we did is at the same time we're also giving it a diet. So it weighed a lot less when I was finished with it than when I first started flattening it with the CNC. Now, a common question that comes up is, should you flatten both sides or just one side? I guess it really depends on what you plan on doing with it. For me personally, I prefer to totally flatten a piece on both sides. In this case here, we didn't have much of a choice just because of the mold and mildew that built up on the surface of it. So that's why in the video you see it looking sort of grimy and then clean and then grimy again. That's the other side of the tulip live edge that we have. Now, the nice thing about having a piece of live edge that's totally parallel is that, let's say you put it on a wall, it's flat. You use it as a table, it's flat. It's very easy to set up the legs for it. If you're building chairs or any of that kind of stuff, it's just so much easier to work with than have one side that's totally level and flat and the other side is just all gimpy on you. more thing that I forgot to mention, when it comes to laser engraving a piece of tulip like this for a logo or that kind of stuff, for street signs, what have you, what's really nice about having something nice and flat and clean is that it produces far better results using the laser. Because yes, technically my laser is strong enough to engrave right through the mold and go right into this piece of live edge. But the problem is the laser is always having the same power output. And let's say it hits some denser material, it goes less deep. If it goes less dense material, then it goes deeper. Well, if there's a lot of crud and stuff on the surface of it, I can't really see what I'm working with. And it really helps to show the customer, here's the grain pattern that we're working with, here's where your logo or your whatever content you have will go as well. So that's what the flattening service actually does. It cleans up the surface, gets all the crud off, and provides a really nice clean surface for the laser engraving. So if you have a custom live edge sign of or furniture or what have you, contact me at CNCKing.com and we'll make it for you.